Good evening, guys. Happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. I think I mentioned to you guys yesterday that we were going to be going to, I think we're just going to Meyer tomorrow. Then I'm going to assume that we're going to Jewel on Saturday. And then I think maybe my dad is just going to Tony's and Caputo's like on Sunday or something like that. Maybe he's going to go after work on Monday. I have no clue. But I told you guys that like it was kind of weird like yesterday and today going to the stores and then like having my dad go too, like Tony's and Caputo's because he has off work tomorrow. But then he had football stuff going on today after work and then also yesterday as well. So he wasn't able to go today or yesterday, and I actually didn't have Tony's or Caputo's list done until today. I finished all of them all at the same time today, but I had already had all the coupons and things like that clipped. I just actually need to like type it out, so it didn't take me all of too long. I was working on it kind of like later when I was like after I had made dinner. But the thing is that my day was also kind of scheduled really weird-ish today, sort of. And not scheduled weird, but there was a big thing that came up during the day today, which I didn't realize initially. I knew that I think I knew kind of that this was going on at least this weekend, but I didn't really realize it and wasn't really paying attention to it. But that was actually that the Cubs spring training game started today, which I am so excited about, guys. Like, finally, it's like spring. It is officially spring. Whenever spring training baseball is on and it starts and I get to watch it, which they had the first game, I think it was also like the first game of like the spring training, because I think the Cubs and the Dodgers, they play each other in Japan to start the season off. Like they did it last year with two teams and I don't remember where they played, but I think it was like an international game or something like that, because the Dodgers have a few Japanese players and then the Cubs also have a few Japanese players as well. Also like pretty popular like, you know, named like players, especially like from Japan as well, which is why I think that's like they've been advertising it. Like even last year they did it for the Cubs. Like I saw a bunch of commercials on about how like, you know, they're gonna have it you know, for like the opening game of the season or whatever, and like they had a bunch of commercials, so I'd like seen the lead up to it. Like, but because of that though, the games that will be like the first game of the season, so that's why the Cubs they had like early spring training games. And the spring, I believe that they actually had pitchers and catchers reporting for on the day of the Super Bowl. So that was like 2 Sundays ago or whatever, or not even 2 Sundays ago. It was like not even 2 weeks ago, but they already had the first game of the season because like I said, they're starting their season, regular season starts earlier for them because they're the first game of the season. It'll be an international game that like kicks off the whole, you know, the MLB, you know, season. So, but like I was saying, they had the spring training game on, which was on at like 2. So it was kind of weird because I did wake up a little bit later, but like I had breakfast and coffee, and then I got some laundry and did like, I think I just did laundry earlier. And then like I was like, okay, I'll work on my grocery list. I was like, but the Cubs game is going to be starting. And I was like, I wanted to like kind of watch some of it and not really work on my grocery list. So I did. I ended up watching that. And the thing was though, was that it was on because it started at like 2. So then by like, I think 4 o'clock, it was still on. And I needed to start dinner because dinner was going to take like over an hour to make. I ended up making, I think I was telling you guys too, those like potatoes and sausage, which my mom said was really good. My mom is someone who like, you know, is very, I don't want to say specific about like certain foods and stuff like that, but my dad is not like, I think I've told you guys this, my dad, you could feed him dog food and not tell him it was dog food and he would tell you how great it was. And even if like he didn't really like it too, like the thing is too, my dad is like, will eat pretty much anything and really doesn't care. Like, so apparently I made chicken noodle soup like a while ago, and the noodles I guess were really mushy, and my mom had like said this, and I was like, okay, well, like, you know, again, my mom will like say things like, oh, I didn't like the texture of that, or like, you know, it wasn't seasoned, you know, right, or whatever, you know, like that kind of stuff. And then like, and so I like asked Jack, because my dad will then be like, no, everything was fine, it tasted great. So I always have to ask Jack to actually know kind of what the happy medium is, because I feel like my mom is just like, she's very particular about like certain, like I said, like textures or tastes and stuff like that. My dad is the complete opposite. Like I said, you could feed him like just saltine crackers, he'd be fine with that, or like dog food, and he wouldn't complain, and he would tell you that it's amazing, and he would probably like it. That's the other thing too. There's not a lot of things my dad doesn't like to eat either. Like, I would actually think, like I said, if you told him that like the dog food was actually like a can of like, you know, chili or something like that, he probably wouldn't even really realize it and would just be like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like, he wouldn't not like it. If that makes sense. So, normally Jack is like the happy medium between the two of them, where I actually find out whether or not it was a good meal and whether or not like they liked it or not. But yesterday's dinner and tonight's dinner, my mom said, which were both new recipes that I've never tried before, my mom said that she really liked them. So I was like, okay, that's good. Again, this isn't like a very, I've made the potatoes before and my mom loves the potatoes. So I was like, I know that she's going to like that. And then I just added the sausage in with the potatoes, and so I think she just really loved it because it had like the potatoes that she likes. So it was just like potatoes. I call them like breakfast potatoes, but I found, I think, a recipe a really long time ago. Again, this is like stuff that like just lives though in my brain of like, I know exactly, like I didn't have to look up a recipe or anything like that. I was like, okay, I cook the potatoes at 400 for, normally I'll do it between 45 minutes to an hour, but I stir it every 15 minutes just so it doesn't like stick to the like baking dish. And I always cook it in a baking dish and just spray it with Pam, and then I put like olive oil or like vegetable oil on it, and then normally I'll just do it with like salt, and a lot of times I will add bell peppers to it. Unfortunately, I forgot and we didn't get bell peppers, so I didn't do it with that. But today again too, all I did was I added like sausage links to it, and like not sausage links, but like the sausage, like the Eckrich like smoked sausage, kind of like, I don't know, like the big sausages, not like breakfast sausage or like anything like that, or like even like, I don't know, like the sausage that you get from like the deli kind, or not like deli, but like the butcher, like the fresh stuff. It wasn't breakfast sausage either. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like sausage links either, but you know, like it was like Eckrich smoked sausage. And it's weird too, because when you say that, like, okay, I had my dad go and pick them up from Tony's and Caputo's, but it literally just says on there smoked sausage. So like, I don't know how to describe that, like, it's not like the links, or like it's like this kind or like that kind, because they had like, oh, the mini like smoked like smokies or whatever, I think they call them, those little like the mini ones that you can use for like pigs in a blanket or like cocktail wieners or like whatever, that kind of stuff. So that's why, like, that's the only one that I know how to define it. But then the other ones, they'll have like more of like the links, but like they're like sausages, but like fake sausage. It's not like the real fresh sausage. But then they also have like the bigger ones that are like, I don't know, they're like the thicker kind too, but that was the kind that I used. And those, I sliced them up and just threw them in with the potatoes. And like I said, my mom was like, really said that she really liked it. And then the dinner I made yesterday, which was like rice and chicken, it was like a kind of almost like, again, very similar to a chicken casserole that I've made before, but it wasn't. And I did it, actually, it was a stovetop recipe instead of like an oven baked recipe, although I did cook the chicken ahead of time in the crock pot. But like, it was, like I said, it was like, that was kind of what I ended up doing. So but both nights they were like newer recipes that I've never really made before, so they were apparently, I guess, really good both nights though, which is good, which is like, I can use those now when I get deals on those things to add them into like the rotation, because I think I told you guys too, like my meal planning had been getting pretty stagnant and just very like the same. I was doing the same stuff, it seemed like. So I was like, I need to get something else like in here that like is something new and different that like I don't do that often, and also something too that, like, again, this was not that difficult to make and it was pretty easy, and like we always have potatoes like almost all the time. So I was like, potatoes is an easy thing to do. And whenever I get a sale on these sausages, now I can just do that. Like, that's an easy recipe. It's not too difficult, but again, too, it's an easier one that I can do. So, but anyways, I was actually still listening to the Cubs game while I was making dinner, but it kind of felt at that weird time where like I had to still make dinner. So then I ended up watching that. Cubs won, which was awesome. And then ended up watching the Four Nations game in hockey, and unfortunately Team USA did not win that, but it did go into overtime. Like, there was a lot of hockey. It was good hockey too, though. Like, I can appreciate watching good game of hockey. Like, I like watching playoff hockey because it's normally like good hockey. Like, I'll watch the Hawks regardless, but especially lately it's been kind of hard to watch because it hasn't been super entertaining, because like they're just like, this was like playoff hockey where it's like intense, like really good defense, you know, really good offense, like, you know, again too, like goalies are like playing like crazy, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, it was entertaining to watch. Whereas, you know, again, watching regular season of a team that's not going to make the playoffs is normally not quite as entertaining. So I can appreciate watching good hockey, and today was good hockey. It was just, again, didn't win. So I did watch that, and then I ended up finishing, like I said, I finished my grocery list after I finished watching the Cubs game, but then before I watched that and when I had my dinner and everything. So anyways, though, but back to the baseball thing, though. I am so excited that baseball's back. Like, to me, when baseball like starts up again in the spring, like, I don't care. There's still snow on the ground. It was 9 degrees as a high yesterday, but it's springtime. Like, officially, my brain says baseball's back on. It's springtime. Like, I'm just so excited for that. And it's supposed to be actually warm, though, this weekend. Like, today was 22. I think maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. It's supposed to get like warmer. We're supposed to be almost in the 50s, I think, or maybe in the 50s, low 50s or something like that. I have to double check and find out, but we're supposed to have like really nice weather, which is awesome. And you know, again, like, that is like, okay, yes, it's turning into spring, hopefully. Like, you know, we might have had this really cold kind of, hopefully this is kind of the last cold push that we get, and now this warm stuff that's coming is what stays, and we get a nice spring after this for like March and all of that, and that would be really nice. But, you know, like, just when baseball's back, though, for me, regardless of what the temperature is outside, it's like, it's spring. Like, it's just, we're getting ready, we're gonna move into summer soon, you know. So that's, I like, the last 2 or 3 years, I think, I just got so excited when baseball's been back on. Like, even though I'm not necessarily like, I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm so excited because like I'm excited for the team or whatever. Like, I am, but I'm just excited that it's back, because it's always that signal of like, winter's over, spring is coming, you know, and then summer's gonna be here after that kind of thing. So that's what I'm most excited for and most looking forward to. And that's like, today, that was just, I had baseball back on. It was so nice. But I will see you guys tomorrow with a grocery haul from Meijer. But if you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.